Hello and welcome to I Am with Eric Faria. I'm your host, and today I have with me Kathy McShane. She's the CEO and founder of Ladies Launch Club and also the author of The Survivor's Guide for Female Entrepreneurs. And we're going to talk all about it today. So thank you for being here, Kathy.
It's my pleasure.
I appreciate it. And I want to start by asking you a simple question, I believe, for you. So what actually led you to work with female entrepreneurs?
Well, I have a long history in the workplace, and when I started in the corporate world, I mentored women there. And then when I started my agency, I mentored women there. And it was just a natural progression because I was always mentoring women. And I actually took a class, and I loved the methodology, and I loved the fact that it was helping women. So here I am.
And how long have you been doing this?
I've been doing this for about 10 years.
Wow, wow. And what is the age of the women who are usually the ones that you work with?
They are really, it's a broad range, and I have women who are 23, 24 years old, and then I have what we call shepreneurs, who are women over 55 years old who start a business.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think is the difference between the 20-somethings and the shepreneurs who are older?
I believe the shepreneurs are a little bit more pragmatic. However, that's good news. The bad news is they're set in their ways. The younger, the millennials, tend to be very excited. They think life is totally great and are somewhat less pragmatic. And I find the younger people haven't spent time in the corporate world where they really do learn a lot of discipline, whereas the shepreneurs have usually spent time there.
I see, I see. So what is the major thing that you would like female entrepreneurs to know, or would-be female entrepreneurs to know?
Just one thing?
Well, I guess the most important,
Then if it's the most important thing, female entrepreneurs have to realize that there are people out there, number one, who want to work with them, and number two, who really do want to motivate them, and number three, hold them accountable. And many women try to do it all on their own, and that's a big mistake. So the message is go out there and find others to work with.
I see. And why do you think it's so hard for women to ask for support?
Because that's the way they're conditioned. And they really feel they can do it all. They think that they're weak if they have to ask for help. And they just are, it's very difficult for them to ask for anything. And I believe, as I said, it's conditioning, and it's really, they don't want to appear weak or not smart.
Not smart. Wow.
Yeah.
I never thought of it that way, actually. So for women, what you're saying is that they would feel that they are less smart if they ask for help than a man.
Absolutely. There's no question about that. Absolutely.
That's interesting. So how do we start to break that cycle or that type of mentality in women?
Well, we have to start with little girls.
Okay.
And when I use the word girl, it usually means a little girl. And what we have found is little girls, when they're 5 years old, if you show them pictures of men and women, and you ask who's the smartest, they often pick the man. When they turn 6, you ask them the same question, they will say the woman. When they're 6, they start to pick the man.
So that young, they revert from the female figure to the male figure.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And you see that regardless of what their relationship is with their dad, or it just is the way it is. So to me, the real way to do this is to start it at home, because if we treat girls differently and our expectations of girls is more rigorous, then I believe that will. And the third element is, we have to really make them feel that it's okay to be successful. It's okay to take risks. It's okay to be the leader, and that starts very early.
I see. And when you wrote the Survivor's Guide for Female Entrepreneurs, What was the main idea that you wanted to get across in the book?
The book was really written so that women could see the way they sabotage themselves. Because we know that often we feel like we're the only person doing it. And then all of a sudden, when you read about it, you say to yourself, oh my heavens, I do that too, or I do that too. So my feeling was, and I really do believe, when you point it out, they become more aware of it. And then when they're more aware of it, they're willing to do something about it. When it just kind of gets hidden in their DNA, it's hard to make changes. But when they read it or see it, it's very different.
I see. So, since you've mentored, I've seen on your website, over 1,000 women, correct?
Yep.
Who was the mentor in your life? Or did you have any mentors in your life?
It's an interesting question. I've never been asked that question before. No, I did not have any mentors in my life. I was an immigrant. I came to this country. My parents had to work 3 jobs, and there were 3 of us, 3 girls, and we just had to find our way. So I really feel that I'm a street fighter. So I don't believe I had mentors, which is unfortunate.
But did you have anybody that you looked up to, even your parents, or the fact that, you know, you migrated to the United States, as an example or something to be admired or to be emulated?
I would say that in my family, the mothers were the leaders,
Right.
and they were the most influential. So the person who was extremely influential to me was my grandmother, my mother's mother. And this woman had 10 children, and she worked until full-time until she was 83 years old.
Wow.
And she was the person that we would all go to when we needed advice, and she was pretty good at it. And then when she passed, it automatically passed to my mother, and my mother's passed, and I think it's automatically switched to me now.
I see. So it's like 3
Yeah.
generations of powerful
The women, right?
women. Yes. Amazing, amazing. And if there is one thing that is common to all the women that you've mentored, is there one thing that you see that you have seen?
I've seen a lot of things, which is really what the book, and I describe the things that I've seen. I believe if you were to challenge me and ask me, what is that one thing? I believe it's a lack of self-confidence. And, you know, I have women who come to me who were executive VPs at Citibank or HBO.
Really? And they still lack the confidence?
They do. When they transfer into an area that they're not used to, they are not comfortable with it. Because we all know that change is difficult, even if it's good change.
Right.
So these women who have had people making their hairdressing appointments are all by themselves now. And and again, that's a generalization. That's not everyone. But I see that a lot.
I see. Well, thank you, and we will be right back after this break.